Hi guys, this is Top 3, and just before the video begins, I would like to say that I am making some temporary changes for the videos. For example, if you guys support the idea, I will begin to make top 5s, top 10s, and other top lists just to make the videos a wider variety and just to kind of progress my channel into making it more unique and whatever. So if you like the idea, then just leave it in the comments, but if you don't, then obviously tell me in the comments that you don't like it and stuff. Also, the thumbnails may change as well because I'm not sure if they are the best quality. I might just do them of the pictures of what are relevant to the video. However, if you do not like these changes, then just leave it in the comments and I'll not change a thing and I'll just keep them the same as always. Anyway, enjoy the video.
Ronn Dubin
had suffered through the unthinkable already when he lived through a devastating car crash that paralysed his body. But the real terror began when doctors made the grave mistake of believing Dubin was in a coma, when he was in fact completely conscious and unable to move or speak for 23 long, arduous years. It was until new technology was discovered several years ago that brain scans showed he was not in the persistent vegetable state that had so long thought he was suffering, but an almost completely normal level of brain function. Dubin had been silently screaming for 23 years, but no one knew how to listen. While the slow agony of being alert and treated like a vegetable would be enough to drive any man insane, Dubin made it through decades by screaming of a life outside the confines of his sentencing in a hospital. He calls his new chance of life second birth, and is just happy that people finally understand that he's alive and aware of his surroundings. I'm just going to say it now, never have a long name, otherwise you're going to end up in a very bad situation. Seriously, Redditor M1nneapolis had a chilling tale to tell about her boyfriend's mother. As a child, the mother lived in a house with a strange design that featured several doors to the outside all over the house. She began feeling an unease in the house, like somebody was watching her, but her family shrugged it off as a little girl being scared of the dark and ignored her fears. Even when she swore that someone was rattling the doorknob to her bedroom from the outside door. Eventually, her belief that she was being watched got so bad that she began to sleep in her parents' room every night, or else she would be woken up by screaming. One night, when her father woke up to use the restroom, he saw a shadowy figure and heard noises, but couldn't find anything suspicious to back up his daughter's fears until the next morning. Surrounding the house, leading up to every window and door, were fresh footprints in the snow. Someone had tried to get into the house desperately and clearly had been there for some time. Her father followed the footprints down the street, where they led to a house where a mentally handicapped teen lived. He confessed to entering the house every night to watch the girl fall asleep. He gave up and just went home the night before, when all doors and windows were locked.
Daniel Huevels
Slits his throat in anguish. Huevels had been playing the role of 2 years without a single hitch. That is, until one fateful night where a potential homicide may have attempted in the most grandiose, theatrical way possible. When Huevels went to cut his own throat with a knife laid out on the table, just as it was during every other performance, the audience went wild with his stirring performance. So much blood, so realistic. Wait, why isn't he moving anymore? Huevels' prop knife is identical to a real one, but obviously dulled. Somehow, the knife on stage that night was 100% real, and he legitimately cut open his own neck. Fortunately for Huevels, he missed the carotid artery entirely and merely needed stitches and plaster to remedy his injuries. Since the actor never decided to press charges, the question remains to this day: was it merely an accident, or was someone trying to assassinate amazing actor? M1nneapolis was in senior high school. She was getting ready for bed and heard something strange coming from her outside window. Down the street was one of the neighbours standing at the fence that divided their yards, yelling something incredibly loud. and inappropriate to a teenage girl up through the window. He had clearly been watching her and freaked out about the incident. She didn't tell her parents in hopes that it wouldn't happen again. The next morning, when she was getting ready for school, she heard the back door of her house open and listening to her gut when it was the creepy neighbour, not her mother. When she went down into the kitchen, there was an 8-inch knife in his hand, ready to pounce. Though he told her not to move, the look on his face and her instincts told her not to listen to him. She booked it out of the house and ran as fast as she could to every house on the block trying to get help. The police showed up and found her attacker back in the house, a recovering alcoholic. He had downed massive amounts of vodka and decided to go to the house when it seemed he had planned it for months. He confessed to the police that he had been watching her for some time and had a collection of photos in his property that proved it. A famed serial killer who already murdered 6 and would ultimately claim the lives of many more. After showing a nice pic, Resendez tied the couple up and ushered them into a nearby ditch. He then bludgeoned Maya to death with a 50-pound rock. Not satisfied with one kill, Resendez proceeded to brutally rape Holly, stab her in the neck with an ice pick, and grab her savagely with a wood plank until she passed out. When Holly woke up, she discovered that Resendez was gone. He mistook Holly passing out for being dead somehow, which gave her the chance to escape. She was able to drag herself to a nearby house and call for help for various injuries, including a broken jaw and a shattered eye socket. Nearly 10 years later, Holly testified in court against a railway killer. He used a train system to move between states and find new victims. In the trial that gave him the death sentence, she was only one of 15 victims to ever get away. If you enjoyed this top 5 list and would like to stay tuned for future videos, then make sure to subscribe for fresh quality content uploaded every week by clicking on the button you can see now. I hope you enjoyed and have a nice day.